Okay, I am making this video because I've watched some videos about people who have ADHD, and I don't know if they have Aspergers too or not, but um, that would be the situation I'm in. Let's see. I guess, I don't know. I guess it's been a few years since I've found out that I'm official. That, years ago they did testing on me. I remember my mom taking, when I was under 4 years old, when I was younger than 4, and we lived in Drayton, North Dakota at the time. I remember my mom giving me a ride to Grand Forks, North Dakota, and from Drayton. Drayton is about 40 miles north of Grand Forks. So anyway, I remember going to Grand Forks and I think having these tests, and for what I didn't know at the time, but now I do. It was to see if I was was an ADHD child, and my mom talked to a lady here in Fargo that I saw for a while about Asperger's, and talking to the lady, my mom was like, "That's definitely me," And so anyway, I've pretty much had a tough time with a lot of things, when it comes to school. I mean, I had a few friends until we moved. I was just into my freshman year. Then after that, I had one friend for a while, but then after that, in high school, we moved just into my freshman year of high school. Then I went to West Fargo for my freshman year, and Oak Grove after that. And so I had one friend for a little while as a freshman, but then after a while, I said something stupid, and that was it. No more. Ended the friendship, and so anyway. But I didn't have any friends at Oak Grove. I didn't have any friends at all. None. Zero. None. I had a brother that was in my same class, but I don't know, can you at least count one of your siblings as a friend? I don't know. I mean, yeah. But anyway. So anyway, I say that I was as popular as a porcupine at a balloon tying contest, and some people probably think I'm just trying to be funny. Well, no, that's 50% fact, 50% funny, okay? Um, you know, I mean, I do say it to be funny, but it is true too. You know, if you can imagine a porcupine at a balloon tying contest, you know, people tying balloon animals and stuff, you know, if you can imagine a porcupine showing up at a balloon tying contest and how many friends they would have, you know, when they get there, that's how many friends I had at Oak Grove. Okay. Oh, excuse me. But anyway. Oh, oh man. Excuse me for that too. Oh man. I shouldn't have this to be very long, I guess. Unless I want to fall asleep when I'm making it. Anyway. But anyway, so I've been different my whole life than most people. Most, you know, when it comes to popularity, I mean, it's like, you know, I don't know. Even when I was in junior high school and elementary school, I don't think I was very popular. Even though I was tall and fairly decent at basketball, at sports, baseball too. You know, even though I was fairly decent at it, I still wasn't popular. You know, at doing things like that. You know. So if you're someone who has Asperger's or ADHD, believe me, I know what it's like. I know what you've gone through. If you've ever had, you know, if you hardly ever had friends, I know what it's like. Believe me, I do. You know, it is so hard. It is so hard. You know, most people don't understand. Most people don't have any idea what it is like to not have any friends, to not have very many friends, and not be very popular. Most people have no idea what that's like. You know, I do. You know, and you know, most people in my family don't understand what that's like. You know, they don't. But anyway, oh man, oh, I am so tired. Oh man, I should go to bed. And it is after almost 2. Yeah. Well, hey, see, I got these today, or, oh, wait a minute, it's after midnight. Yesterday in the mail, because it's after midnight. And these work way better than the ones I had. Hopefully my eyes won't keep changing, so my prescription for my glasses gets out of whack soon after I get them. Hopefully my eyes won't change too much, so I can actually use these for quite a while without them, you know, not being very good for my eyes. Oh man, yeah, after a stroke your eyes change a lot. They get a lot worse and then they get a lot better. And so you have to go see the eye doctor quite a bit. once every 3 months, and get new glasses every 3 or 6 months because your eyes change so much. And so but anyway, that is beside the point. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, I've been different my whole life. I've been different than my family members, and part of it's when it comes to religion, part of it's my politics. My politics are totally different than my family. I'm a Republican and they're all Democrats. My family doesn't understand things from my perspective. They don't understand where I'm coming from. It's like, oh man. That's not exactly fun when you're the only one, when you believe in a certain way, and you're the only one in your whole family that does that. Oh my gosh. My family isn't, some of my families are not exactly happy that Donald Trump is our president. Okay. They're pretty upset about him being president. But they have the rest of our family who agrees with him. So they could say something nasty about Donald Trump. They're going to go, oh yeah, you're right. No one in our family is going to disagree with him except me. I'm the only one, who disagree with him. If I do, if I do disagree, then it's up to me to say something about it or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, let's get along to get along, Sometimes I don't say anything. Sometimes I'm like, okay, whatever, And I don't say anything about, they say something nasty about Trump. But then again, I remind them that, hey, I didn't vote for him, so don't yell at me. They say, well, it's your party that got him elected. Well, yeah, okay, so what? Did I support him to get him elected? No, I did not support him to get him elected. I wrote in one of my brothers on my ballot for president, so don't blame me, don't blame me he got elected. I didn't vote for him. I didn't send him any money to get him voted for. I don't support him, don't get mad at me. But that doesn't help. They still get mad at me for being a Republican. Okay, so did I help him get elected? No. Did you vote for the dumbass we had for the last 8 years? Yes, you did vote for him. So you did help get him elected. You did help him screw things up for the last 8 years. Okay, but did I do that for Trump? No. There's a difference. I didn't vote for him, but you voted for the idiot who is screwed up who's put a lot of people, an awful lot of people, through a lot of crap for the last 8 years. Okay? You helped that happen. Okay? There's a difference. If I had picked the person to be the next president, Donald Trump would not be president today. Okay? If you had gotten to pick the person, you picked Obama. Obama would have been the president if you had had the chance to pick him. Okay? He was the one you voted for. Okay? So I can blame you for the last 8 years of all the crap I've been through because of Obama. I can blame you because you supported him. You voted for him. You supported him. But you can't blame me for Trump getting elected because I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for him. I didn't send him any money. You probably sent Obama money too. I may be wrong. Probably not everybody in my family sent him money, but I'm pretty sure almost every one of them voted for him. So I can't thank you for, voting for an idiot who made millions of people suffer for the last 8 years because of him, because of his stupidity. I can blame you for that. Okay? I can blame you for that. Because you supported. You voted for him. You may or may have sent the money to win. Okay? But anyway. That's beside the point. But, let's see. I think that me being ADHD and having Asperger's there's been a lot of bad things, but I think there's been a lot of good things too. Because when I was in the Navy, I was a part of security for a year. One of the last couple years that one of the last 2 years I was in the Navy. 1 year I worked as part of security, and the other year I worked cutting hair and being in charge of uniforms. Uniforms that people who were getting out of the Navy, of a place called Lucky Bag. People would get out of the Navy, and if they were getting kicked out of the Navy, they would have to give them to me. They could not take their uniforms with them. Okay? And so if they were getting out of the Navy and they just didn't want them anymore, they could give them to me, and so anyway, I would get these uniforms, and I had a room in which it was kind of my office, in which I would have the piles of these uniforms in different sizes, and people, if you were in the Navy, you could come and pick them up, find your size, and take them. Or if you were like in the Sea Cadets, you sometimes leaders of the Sea Cadets, it's kind of like the Boy Scouts or the Navy, would come and need certain uniform sizes, and I would help them find the right size, and they would put them in a garbage bag, and they would take them for their Sea Cadets that they were working with. So, but anyway, to get back to when I was part of security, I would treat people who were getting kicked out of the Navy, I would treat them the way I would want to be treated if I was being kicked out of the Navy. And so anyway, there was this one time, and I was checking IDs and bags, people that were coming back, and I would check their bag, I would check their ID, if they came back, if they came back from being out in town or wherever. And so anyway, I was sitting at a desk, and there was a girl who was getting kicked out of the Navy sitting there too, that I was talking with. And so I didn't treat her like, she was like a dirtbag, or, like a lot of people treated people who were getting kicked out of the Navy. A lot of people treated people badly if you were getting kicked out of the Navy because of that. But I never did that. I was always, gave them respect that anybody would want. Yeah, she was getting kicked out of the Navy, you know. But, I mean, hey, she's no different than anybody else, who'd want respect. So that's how I treated her, I was, I wasn't overly nice to her, but, I treated her with respect. And so we're talking, and she said a guy offered her to smoke marijuana with him because she had, I don't know, I guess was depressed or something, or something. But anyway, and I almost fell out of my chair when she said some guy offered her to smoke marijuana with him. It's like, what? He did what? So, she ended up giving us a voluntary statement and told us where this guy had offered her to smoke marijuana with him. And so anyway, I mean, we weren't going to tell the guy that, she told us about. We weren't going to tell him, oh yeah, she told us this. It was just going to be completely anonymous. Totally anonymous. And so anyway, the oncoming section for security, there's 3 guys. I was one of 3 guys that was off-going, and the 3 guys who were oncoming read her voluntary statement. And so they called up base security, and because I was part of security for just my command, I wasn't part of base security. I was just part of base security for my command. That's it. That's all we were. We just, security for our command, our building that we were in. That was it. And so anyway, base security sent over a couple guys, and one of the oncoming section guys went with I think with the two guys from base security that they sent over, and they caught 4 guys red-handed smoking marijuana, as in, here you go, taking turns smoking marijuana. You got 4 guys, red-handed. One of them wasn't even had already been discharged from the Navy, and he was just waiting till the next morning to get a ride to the Oakland bus station. We're not talking Oakland, Michigan. We're talking Oakland, California. Okay? Not exactly the safest place to be during the day. But this is at night. Okay? This is in the middle of the night. This is like 1 o'clock. This is almost 1 o'clock in the morning when they caught this guy with the other 3 guys. Okay? And what base security did was give him a ride to the Oakland bus station at about 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay? not exactly the safest place to be, okay? You know, I don't know whatever happened to him, but I sure as heck know I would not. That would be the last place on earth I would want to be at that time, because you don't have any idea what could happen to you there in the middle of the night, okay? You know, you have no idea what could happen to you, you know. And they basically drove him to the Oakland bus station. They dropped him off, and there he was until the morning when he got on the bus to go back home. You know, that's a scary. I would never want to be at the Oakland bus station. You know, even during the day, much less in the middle of the night. Oh my gosh, that would have scared the crap out of me if I'd been in that, if I was ever in that situation. So anyway, but he was out of the Navy. They couldn't do anything to him. You know, couldn't charge him with anything. But the other three guys that were still in the Navy, oh yeah, they got into a lot of trouble for doing that. And it's all because I treated a girl that was getting kicked out of the Navy with some respect. I treated a girl who, you know, got treated like crap from a lot of people, you know. Oh, yeah. So anyway, and the four people she had given us the voluntary statement about wasn't one of them. You know, our commanding officer signed a search and seizure of the guy's locker, and the guy who had offered her to smoke marijuana with him, and they found 2 drug paraphernalia marijuana pipes, and so he got in trouble too. So he ended up getting in trouble too. So they did end up getting 4 people ended up getting in trouble, you know. And it all started because I treated one girl who was getting kicked out of the Navy for something she had done, you know, with respect. And so, you know, that's, you know, maybe you know, I mean, yeah, I've been different my whole life. But why treat people badly? I mean, if you or I had been in that situation, if we were getting kicked out of the Navy, how would we want to be treated? You know, how would you want to be treated if you were getting kicked out of the Navy? Would you want other people to treat you like crap? No. You know, I don't think so. So I didn't treat her that way either. You know, and here's another story about when I was part of security. I would escort people to and from. Oh wait, no, actually, it wasn't when I was part of security. Well, actually, part of it was, but I'd escort people to and from the brig, from the Navy jail on Treasure Island, and so, you know, I would usually take him to the doctor or dentist, or we would go to legal, or, you know, other places that they had to go. And I was responsible for them too. And so I would treat them the way, if, again, I would treat them the way I would want to be treated if I were in their situation. If I were in their shoes, I would want to be treated with respect. So, let's see. When I was a barber at the Brig too for a while, and I did such a great job that they didn't want me to do that anymore. The prisoners asked that, that I not do that. I did such a great job. And yes, I am being sarcastic. So anyway, when I would do that, when I would cut hair, that was different than when I would, when I was part of security. So anyway, I would cut hair and, so I'd, just chit chat and small talk. I'd ask them why they were in the brig, why they were in the Navy jail. And one guy said that for a hobby, he gives himself a shot of cocaine in one arm and heroin in the other. And that is exactly what killed both John Belushi and River Phoenix. I said, does the name John Belushi ring a bell? Because that's exactly what killed him. Okay. And that's exactly what killed River Phoenix too. So, that's one of two times I almost dropped my clippers because I was just like, what the, oh man, what the hey. Anyway, yeah. So, other times another story I shouldn't repeat, but anyway, that was the other time that I almost dropped the clippers. But anyway, people who are in trouble, people who've messed up and are in jail, they want to be treated just like anybody else does. They don't want to be treated like crap, I mean, that's also the reason why I'm pro-life. I am pro-life from the beginning of innocent life to guilty death. Okay. If someone is on death row, and supposed to be executed for that, I'm against that. I mean, it's like I'm pro-life for even someone who is guilty of murder. Someone who, in a lot of ways, would deserve to be executed. They've taken somebody else's life, so theirs needs to be taken from them. I don't think that's right either. I mean, I am pro-life from the beginning, like I said, from the beginning of innocent life to guilty death, I mean, you screw up, mistakes can be made, the court system is not perfect, police are not perfect, nobody is perfect, two people can look so much alike, they're like, oh yeah, I know he did it, I know that person did it, and they're wrong. Mistaken identity happens all the time. mistaken identity, they get the wrong person, you know. There's a lot of times in which they don't get the right person when it comes to someone who is murdering another person. You know, this person is found guilty. This person is guilty, and their sentence is to be put to death. You know, you cannot bring somebody who you've put to death back to life. You can't bring them back to life. You know, put the paddles of a defibrillator, put them back and shock them back to life. That doesn't happen. Once they've been executed, they are dead. That's it. Game over. Game over. You know, like I said, game over. You can't bring them back to life when you find out that you screwed up, that mistakes were made, that, that the person who said, oh yeah, they did it, didn't like them for some reason, or had something against them. It's like, oh yeah, they did it, Then they find out later that they were lying, that they framed this person, and that they had nothing to do with the murder at all. You can't bring them back to life. They're dead. That's it. Once they execute it, they quit investigating it. Do I believe there are cases in which innocent people have been put to death? Oh yeah. You study, there's some cases, criminal cases, that people have been put to death. If you did the research, you'd be like, oh, I don't think this person was guilty. I don't think this person should have been put to death. But once they're put to death, it's too late, folks. You can't bring them back. You can't bring them back and go, oh, sorry, we didn't mean to execute you. We screwed up. Bring them back to life and set them free from prison. Once they're dead, they are dead. That's it. Game over. Do you really want to execute an innocent person? Do you want to have that on your conscience the rest of your life? That, hey, I caused an innocent person to be executed, to be killed? I mean, do you want to kill someone and have to know that the rest of your life? That you're responsible for someone getting killed? I mean, it'd be like, it's the same thing as drinking and running somebody over. Do you want to be responsible for that? No. Nope. I can't drive because my blood sugar was averaging about 200 when I last saw my doctor at the VA. Okay. And why can't I drive why can't I get, take the test when my blood sugar is averaging 200? Well, because I can eat something that it takes it from 200 to 400 and pass out and run somebody over. The VA, my doctor, is like, we can't take the chance of that happening. They can't take the chance of me doing that. Okay? Of my blood sugar getting up to where I pass out. And to where I run somebody over. I have to get my blood sugar down to between 120 and 140. It has to average between 120 and 140. And my A1C has to be below 8, between 6 and 8, you know. And then my doctor, when I see her next in May, said, we will talk about it. If I do that, you know, if I do that, we will talk about it. Which, do I know for sure I'm going to be able to take the driving test from Sanford if that happens? No, I don't. She did not guarantee that I'll be able to take the driving test if that happens. But I need to do that. I need to do that anyway. I need to get my blood sugar down to so that, you know, that it doesn't happen. But anyway, oh man, excuse me for being so tired. And yeah, they can't take the chance of me doing that, of my blood sugar being about 200 and having my blood sugar average being about 200 and then have it go much higher to about 400 and me passing out. They just can't take the chance of that, you know. I mean, that isn't going to happen. But they're like, oh, but we can't take the chance of that, of that happening, of me doing that, of my blood sugar going up to 400 and me passing out driving and running somebody over, you know. I mean, it's frustrating. It's frustrating from my perspective, not being able to drive, not having my driver's license, having to sell my car. That is frustrating. And now it is starting to get really cold out. Well, it's starting to get cold out here. But it's not as cold as it's going to get. It can get a lot colder, and I am stuck. I can't drive. I live a ways away from, I live about a mile from Cashwise and Petro, you know, and so anyway. I'm stuck. I don't. What can I do? You know, call Uber all the time and call a cab all the time. You know, I don't have money to do that either. You know, so I have to walk a mile to the grocery store or a gas station when it is really cold out. You know, I get to walk a mile. So anyway, that sucks. That really sucks. But this is the situation I'm in. You know, what can I do? Not much. You know, I mean, the only thing I ever get help with is, you know, there's a guy who lives upstairs who gives me a ride to church on Sunday mornings, and a nurse that comes to do my meds. That's the only help I get. You know, that's pretty much it. You know, I don't have someone to come and give me a ride to wherever I want to go. you know. I might, well, some people might give me a ride once in a while to where I want to go, but other than that, that's it. That is it. That is all. I don't have somebody giving me a ride to wherever I want to go, whenever I want to do something. I don't have that. Okay. But, yeah. So, you definitely would not want to be in this situation. Definitely do not want to be there, you know, having had a stroke and being diabetic and having ADHD and Aspergers. No, you don't want to be in my shoes, because you would think that it sucks to do that too, and it does. But I don't know. It's like, God, come on, please get me out of a lot of the crap I'm going through. I'm tired, I'm sick of a lot of this crap, you know, but I don't know. We'll see. We will see what happens. So, anyway. Oh, man, I'm tired. Should click this and go to bed. Yeah. Alright. See you later. Bye.